Hello. How's everyone doing? Um, I said at the end of the last stream that I would be back on Wednesday. If you're taking a look at your calendar, the observant among you might notice that it is in fact Tuesday. That's because the second I stopped streaming yesterday, I literally kept thinking about reading more of this game, and I'm like, I've made the commitment to stream it, so literally the only way I get to play more is if I stream more, so I'm breaking the stream schedule. However, it's in favor of more streams, so I think it's breaking the stream schedule complimentary as opposed to derogatory. It's the HR lady meme. We're just doing the classics here. Last time we got through the prologue and chapter 1. If I'm remembering right, I think it's the same chapters up until chapter 4-ish? 3? 4? I don't know. We still got a bit until Route Split, but I think you have to do Arcwade first, so we're doing that anyways. That's the first one, so... Oh, right, I did a different load earlier. Here we go. Start chapter 2. Day 2. A day that was not. You realized one day that you don't dream. All you see is your past set on repeat. A tapestry of introspection and rumination. A refrain of what has happened and what will happen through the lens of a lucid dream. You do not dream. I am not here. Shiki Tono has never known what it means to dream. I do not know you. And so, the story is over. Yet you still continue to dream, unwilling to forget. Like the stars twinkling atop the falling snow. Like the sea roaring amongst the crashing of waves. Like the crumbling moon craving your shadow. Refrain, 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 refrain. Those are the kind of dreams I have when I either drink too much before bed or smoke too much before bed. Or it's just something wacky's going on. But hi Hisui. I hear an unfamiliar voice. My consciousness slowly returns.
朝です。お目覚めの時間です。四季様。
I thought I told her I didn't want her calling me master. It makes me super uncomfortable. I opened my eyes, grabbed my glasses from the bedside, and put them on. There we go, murder vision off. The lines fade instantly. Oh my god. Need Shiki Tono to do the Predator handshake with Cyclops. I sit up, trying to shake away the remnants of sleep. Where am I?
おはようございます。四季様。
The maid bows.
あ、そうか。遠野の家に戻ってきたんだっけ。
はい。昨日はお疲れだったと存じます。
Isui stands by the door to my bedroom, her posture perfect, like a statue. My mind is still a bit foggy, likely from sleeping in a new place.
四季様。
Isui calls out to me. I shake my head to wake myself up.
おはよう、翡翠。わざわざ起こしてくれてありがとう。
そのようなお言葉は不要です。四季様をお起こしするのが私の役割ですから。
Hisui answers flatly. It's too bad, I think. Hisui would be unstoppable if she had just half the brightness of her sister. Not that I have any right to judge someone's character. I was about to say. Glass house, buddy.
何かご用でしょうか。
Isui speaks up, perhaps aware of my gaze.
いや、なんでもない。翡翠の顔を見て、ここが遠野の屋敷なんだって実感しただけだよ。
I get out of bed and take a deep breath. The clock says it's a little before 7 a.m. It's a bit earlier than when I usually wake up.
着替えてから下に行く。今じゃなくて食堂に行けばいいのか。
はい。食堂においでください。朝食の支度ができていますので。
Dude, I love breakfast, but like getting up extra early and like making it makes it not feasible. If I had someone making me breakfast every day, I'd be living like a king.
わかった。ありがとう。
Isui bows and leaves the room. I venture down to the first floor lobby. I've already changed my underclothes and put on my uniform. The dining room is just inside the west wing, mirroring the location of the parlor in the east wing. It's the large room to the left of the hall, on the opposite side of the stairs.
おはようございます、四季さん。早速朝食をご用意しますね。
Kohaku had been waiting for me, it seems. Isui must have told her last night that being called master makes me uncomfortable. It seems Kohaku is a little bit more flexible when it comes to that sort of thing. They really are about as different as two people can be. Kohaku quickly sets the table. Prepared for me is a full traditional Japanese meal, a one soup, 3 sides set with rice. Oh. Dude, you're making me hungry. Dang it, Nasu. Stop doing this. Except...
しまった。昨日のうちに言っておくべきだった。
もしかして苦手なものが入っていました？四季さん、カブはお嫌いですか？
Well, I'm not.
いえ、好き嫌いはあまりない方だと自負してますけど、なんていうか。
There's a little too much. I've always been a light eater, especially when it comes to breakfast. The more I eat, the worse my heartburn gets, until my appetite is totally gone. I feel pretty good today, so I could probably eat a full bowl of rice, but on bad days, I'll only manage a bite or two.
そうですか。小食だとは伺っておりましたので、これでも控えめにしてみたのですけど。
すみません。事故の後遺症のようなもので、こればかりはどうしようもないというか。あ、でもすごく美味しそうなのはわかります。この朝食は完璧ですね。
I quickly blurt out my honest impression. I don't want to seem ungrateful after Kohaku cooked a wonderful meal for me. None of this is her fault. 10 out of 10.
とにかくいただきます。残してしまったらごめんなさい。
いいえ、お気になさらず。私もこの道のプロですもの。四季さんの適量を測らせていただきますから。では、どうぞ召し上がれ。お口に合わないようでしたら遠慮なく言ってくださいましね。
ごちそうさまでした。大変美味しかったです。
I bring my hands together and express my thanks. Kohaku's breakfast was a feast for the eyes as well as the stomach. It was delicately seasoned, with none of the flavors overpowering one another. Each bite served to only whet my appetite more. I'm sure most high school guys would have helped themselves to seconds or thirds.
けどすみません。せっかく用意してくれたのに残してしまって。
いいんです。先にお話を聞いておかなかった私の失敗ですから。それに十分嬉しゅうございます。四季さん、本当に美味しそうに召し上がってくれるんですもの。この日のために腕を磨いていた甲斐があったというものです。
She's so good. I love her. Kohaku smiles sweetly. I think she's got things wrong. The joy's all mine getting to see a smile like that.
と、いけません。もうこんな時間です。どうぞ私にお構いなく、今の方に行ってくださいな。 あちらで食後のお茶を用意いたしますから。
Kohaku giggles as she continues tidying up. It's already 7:20 a.m., so I should start getting ready to go to school. I thank Kohaku one last time and leave the room. Isui and Akiha are already in the parlor when I arrive. Akiha is wearing the uniform for Asagami Girls Academy, a prestigious school for young ladies.
よう、おはよう、アキハ。
おはようございます、兄さん。今朝は起床時間が遅かったようですが、まあ、よしとしましょう。初日につき、よく寝つけなかったということにしておきます。
Snippy is the first word that comes to mind. It's probably not a good idea to tell her that I actually woke up earlier than usual this morning. Man, I love my job, but the fact that even waking up at 7 a.m. is technically sleeping in for me, that is disheartening. I remember when my old job, I used to have to wake up at like 10 a.m. That shit was gas. I got to stay up all night.
すい、兄さんに食後の紅茶を。私ももう一杯いただきます。かしこまりました。四季様、お砂糖はお入れしますか？
ああ、うん。じゃあ一つだけ。
Thus begins an inexplicable morning. Hisui places a cup on the table and returns to her position by the wall. I take a sip of the ruby-colored tea and... Hold on, what is this?
めちゃくちゃうまい。苦いのに甘い。複雑なのに喉越しがすっきりしていて、そもそも香りがこうクリスマスっぽい。
I love Nasu. Just, he's a nerd for a lot of things, but it's also clear that he just really, really likes food. Flabbergasted, I ramble on nonsensically. I didn't care much for the lavishness of the mansion I saw yesterday, but this tea is something else entirely.
今朝はマリアージュのエスプリドノエルですね。
Ah, the Esprit de Noël.
紅茶の名店といえばイギリスですが、こちらはフランスの名店です。創業そのものは1850年頃。日本に上陸したのはつい最近。15年ほど前だからメジャーではないものの、品質に問題はありません。クリスマスという表現は曖昧すぎて評価しづらいですけど、不思議とニュアンスは伝わりますね。
Akiha laughs, seemingly having found my reaction amusing.
お値段もお手頃だそうですし、庶民派な兄さんに合わせてみた甲斐がありました。上質の葉には黄金に等しい価値があると勉強になりましたか？
She looks down on me as if I'm the Neanderthal to her sophisticated queen. Even the way she returns her cup to its saucer is refined. Rose coping. I hate to admit it, but she's right. So this is what real tea tastes like. What have I even been drinking up until now? I finally understand why all those trading companies sprouted up just to get their hands on this stuff. 10 minutes have passed since I came to the parlor. Akiha and I spend most of the time enjoying our tea. Few words were spoken. Every time our eyes met, we both turned our gazes back to our cups. Honestly, I've never felt more awkward. But even so, it wasn't a bad way to spend time. Having abandoned her for so long, seeing Akiha able to pass time peacefully like this fills me with an emotion I can't quite explain. Relief? Is that what this is? Regardless, it makes me happy to see Akiha here in front of me. Just as I'm enjoying things, a strange noise comes from the hall.
大改造大恋愛
Oh god, it's the Quirkster Supreme.
乱雑乱暴最後に乱心スタンピードに地獄行き
That is a powerful expression. The sound of someone's horrendously off-tempo humming creeps through the wall.
Hi, good morning.
Oh, she's great. Any character with the fang, instantly like a +2 already. The thing that slams open the door is decked out in an outfit that's just as outrageous as her entrance. A top that doesn't leave much to the imagination, and a tight leather skirt. Her long hair is crudely bound together. What is that face? She doesn't seem to be wearing makeup, but her lips are strangely captivating. Her reddish blonde hair, combined with the fact that she's taller than me, tells me she's not Japanese. I glance at her unmistakable curves. She does have a great figure. She gives off the impression of a woman. A+ dialogue here, buddy. The kind of person that would be more suited to lounging on the beach somewhere instead of standing here in this old mansion. At least, she would if it weren't for her white coat, which strangely suits her.
おはようございます、アラク先生。今日は何のご用でしょう。定期診断は昨日のはずでしたが。いやー、昨日はちょっと乗り気になれなくて。夕日を見てたらムラっと来ちゃって、調査ほっぽり出して街に飛び出したのよ。まあ率直に言えばサボり。なんで今日こそきちんとお仕事したくて朝からやってきたわけ。あ、メイドちゃん、私にも紅茶プリーズ。砂糖は4さじないし5さじ、気分的には6さじみたいな。
Lady. Just by looking at her eyes, I can tell that she's like unhinged. And I'm here for it. The woman in the white coat barges into the parlor. Her eyes naturally meet with mine.
あれ？あれれ？あれれれれ？
Great noises. She stares at me. After scanning me for some time, I catch the woman smirking at me when... Lady, chill out. The woman is doubled over, howling with laughter. All I can do is frown. Who is this person? Akiha called her doctor, but...
アラク先生、兄さんに紹介をしてもよろしいでしょうか。
Akiha coughs and chides the woman, seeing my predicament.
ん？紹介って私のこと？それともしきちゃん？いいわよ、そんな無駄なこと。しきちゃんのことなら、脇久くんから聞いてるし。しきちゃんだって、私みたいなよそ者の事情なんて興味ないでしょ？つうかそんな解消があるなら、トシちゃんに向けてあげろって話。
Lady is, she's operating on a different wavelength from Makihisa. Then this woman knew my father?
そうそう、私はもともと気ままなデラシネ、風に漂う砂しの雲みたいな女だったんだけど、牧久くんとはちょっと縁があって、行くところがないならうちで一緒に暮らさないか？
It's a powerful expression.
とかクールに口説かれちゃったわけ。でも残念、牧久くんはちょっとタイプじゃないんで、あっさり断って今はトシちゃんのお友達なのかしら。
I look over to Akiha to confirm if what I've just been told is true. I don't have the courage to talk to this woman directly.
ええ、アラク先生はお父様の大学時代の後輩です。
Ah.
今は父の友人として私の相談役になってもらっています。私その呼び方嫌い。はかせ。
私のことは親しみと愛情を込めてアラク博士って呼んでくれなきゃ博士泣いちゃう。
She feels like a Danganronpa character. Like, it feels like a character from a different game just walked into frame. That's the best way I can describe how she's making me feel right now. Arak laughs, not looking even the least bit sad. Except, even mid-laughter, I notice that her eyes have never left me since she entered the room. Like we were connected by a thread.
どうぞ、アラク様。お茶が入りました。
Oh no, like, if never let this woman operate on you, God forbid. Kisui intervenes. Either unaware or unfazed by our conversation, she serves to calm Arak's energy.
もうメイドちゃんったらほんとメイドの鏡ね。
She's not happy to be interrupted. Arak puts a hand on her hip as she downs her sugar-filled tea in one breath.
おう、ナイスシュガー。糖分が五臓六腑に染み渡るっていうか、子宮とか卵巣にキュンと溶けいっちゃってたまんない。ラブ入ってきた。
Lady, I'm gonna need you to calm down.
じゃ、定期診断に行ってきます。大浴場の空調がおかしいんでしょ。わかってるわかってる。ささっとチェックして、ついでに4クラスターとか足してみましょう。
Wait, you're here to fix the AC? Whatever, dog. Arak saunters over to the door to the hallway, laughing all the while. She turns to face me, her hand on the doorknob.
よろしくね、しきちゃん。よそ者同士仲良くしましょう。これからいろいろあるでしょうけど、もう本当にどうしようもなくなったらダメ元で私に相談しにいらっしゃい。
The intruder leaves the same way she arrived, humming to herself. An awkward silence pervades the parlor.
なあ、アキハ。
アラク先生については私もよくは知りません。お父様の遺言の関係で屋敷本館への出入りと手入れを一任されている方です。お父様は建築家として重宝をなさっていたとか。ご本人曰く建築業は副業だそうですが。
Iha explains the situation curtly. She answered before I could even ask who the woman was, as if to say she doesn't want me asking any more questions.
失礼いたしますね。アキハ様、そろそろ登校のお時間。おや、何やら緊迫した雰囲気ですね。
You don't know the half of it.
ははん。朝から無理難題を言って早速四季さんを怯えさせてしまったのですか。あなたね、早速とは何ですか。早速とは。第一、私は理不尽な決まり事は口にしません。常識的な範囲でのお願いをするだけです。
Kohaku seems amused by Akiha's defense. It's only the second day, but I feel like I'm starting to understand their relationship.
それでは私は学校に向かいます。兄さん、昨夜も言いましたが、門限は厳守するように。昨夜のニュースはご覧になっていますか。
なってないよ。携帯電話は誰かに取り上げられたからね。理不尽気味に。
そうですか。では明日から朝刊を今に用意させます。早めに起床し、一日のニュースに目を通すといいでしょう。
There she goes again. My sarcasm is quickly hurled back into my face by her cold, pointed response.
ニュースによると、昨夜宗谷駅北口で不老者の遺体が発見されたそうです。栄養失調による凍死とも出血による衰弱死とも報道されています。
You know someone is rich if they ever, unironically, use the term vagrant to describe someone. Like, that is a word that, like, only the upperest of the upper crust will ever use unironically.
真相はどうあれ、 このところ繁華街の治安は良くないようです。そんな時に出歩いてくだらない事件に巻き込まれては遠野家の恥ですから。学校が終わり次第、日が落ちる前に屋敷に戻ることを心がけてください。
Akiha leaves the parlor after reminding me of my curfew. But if she wants me home before the sun sets, that means I'll have to be back by 6. Why even make my curfew 8 o'clock then? The clock in the parlor puts the time at 7:30 a.m. I can make it to school as long as I have 30 minutes to spare, but will Akiha arrive in time? I think I remember Asagami Girls Academy being pretty far away. Huh?
四季さん、四季さん、聞こえますか？そう、あなたです。明葉様の容赦ない仕打ちに打ちひしがれ、絶望に膝を折っているあなたに話しかけています。
Miki, I'm speaking directly into your mind. You will go into the GameStop and you will buy me a copy of Bambi on the PS2. It is a sus-ass expression. What is she doing? Hidden behind the sofa, she gestures for me to come over to her.
聞こえていますけど、何ですか、琥珀さん。
違います。私は使用人であって使用人ではない曖昧な存在なので、これをあなたにお返しするのです。
Kohaku pulls out a cell phone from the sleeve of her kimono. That's my phone that Akiha confiscated yesterday.
いいんですか？
はい。でも、明葉様には内緒ですよ。見つからないように注意してくださいね。あと、屋敷内で使うのもお控えください。まあ、電波の通りがあまり良くないので、使いたくても使えないとは思いますが。
My one ally, my strongest soldier.
琥珀さん。
At least someone in the Tono manor is on my side. I take the phone and quickly slip it into the inner pocket of my uniform.
あとはこちらもどうぞ。正門の認証カードです。ブザーを押していただければ、私の方でロックを解除しますが、警備室まで行くのにどうしても時間がかかってしまいますので、ご面倒とは存じますが、お急ぎの時はこちらで正門の鍵を開けていただければ助かります。
A key card for the gate. The Tonos sure don't slouch when it comes to security.
それでは、私は明葉様をお見送りしてきます。後のことは翡翠ちゃんにお任せしますね。はい。いってらっしゃい、姉さん。
Kohaku hurries off after Akiha.
四季様のお時間はよろしいのですか？
ああ、ここから学校まで歩いても30分だからね。今は7時半だろ。途中でちょっと走れば間に合うよ。でも、気にかけてくれてありがとう、翡翠。
Isui nods, seemingly satisfied with my explanation.
それでは、外までお見送りいたします。
ああ、うん、どうも。
Having a personal maid really is embarrassing. I rise from the sofa in response to Hisui's urging. Disregarding the intruder earlier, my first morning in the mansion after 7 years passed without much issue. Isui sees me out as I leave the mansion. The Tono estate rests atop a high hill on the outskirts of Soya, quite a distance from the station. From the vast stretch of forest in the area, it's easy to think that the manor was built simply to be an entrance to it. It only takes a little more than 30 minutes to pass the station and get to school from here. I should be able to make it in time for homeroom if I hurry a bit. I make my way down the long decline. It's my first time taking this route to school, since I always took the train when I was with the Arimas. It almost feels like I'm going to an entirely different school.
あんまりいないな、うちの学生。
I don't see many from Soya High in this area. 7:30 a.m. I seem to be the only one wearing a school uniform. Unlike the south exit yesterday, the north exit is crowded with commuters. Men in suits rush by on their way to work, the kind of sight that's entirely common. They appear unbothered by the recent happenings in the city. Or at least, it's not enough to warrant changing their day-to-day schedule. Regardless, there's no obvious change to the town. Oh my god. I can't remember the last... So, that ad on the left there, the blue with the black silhouette, that's like those old Apple iPod ads. I can't remember the last time I saw one of those. I just got jump scared by that. Regardless, there's no obvious change to the town. I guess few would avoid going out at night based on a bad feeling like Arihiko. I head to the residential district, away from the station. Unlike before, the road here is packed with uniformed students. My phone tells me I have 5 minutes until the school gate closes. I quicken my pace, dashing down the asphalt path so I won't be late. It took me around 30 minutes, just like I told Hisui. I did have to run once or twice, so I should leave a bit before 7:30 if I want to have plenty of time. Arihiko isn't here today. I guess him coming yesterday really was a fluke. I walk over to my desk, greeting my classmates on the way. I check my phone for the few minutes I have until homeroom starts. I scan the morning news as well as both school forums. I scan the morning news as well as both school forums. The official one created at the best of the younger teachers, and an anonymous board made by students. There's nothing particularly interesting this morning. I look up and find that the vast majority of other students are spending their time in a similar fashion. Apparently, most teachers over 30 say we don't have any real friends. A common misconception by the previous generations. All that's changed is how we define our friendships. We value our friends behind the monitor as much as those we talk to in person. Our class gets along just fine. If anything, it used to be difficult to make friends outside of your own class. But that's not the case anymore. It's easier than ever to find people you click with. Homeroom doesn't need to be like a family anymore, as long as people get along okay. The rapid growth of the internet has bridged any gap in knowledge caused by age. We might not share the same wealth of experience, but I'd say we're pretty even when it comes to day-to-day things. They say we have no passion, no dreams, no hope, but I don't think that's our fault. The world is smaller than it used to be. Even elementary schoolers know just how stalled our society has become. Okay, we have transitioned out of Tsukihime into the Nasu talking about society. Always a joy. Which is why it's become difficult to have dreams in this day and age. That's what it means to share information. The larger our collective knowledge grows, the smaller the lives of the people who possess it seem to become. People used to look beyond the horizon to learn. There's no need anymore. We don't need to go anywhere. People may be free, but they've lost all reason to venture outside their narrow world. Whether that be the classroom, school, or city, people feel trapped. At least, that's what people say. And that's just their personal opinion. I don't feel that sense of being trapped. I don't have any problems with our society, or feel like we're stuck. The only thing I'm worried about is enjoying every day I have as much as I can. To start with, it's probably wrong for someone dreaming of the simple life to drone on about the complexities of society. I bet I'm full of misconceptions. The bell for homeroom rings while I'm lost in thought. The students who had been chatting away return to their seats. I put away my phone and ready my mind for class. Thus begins my second day of school since returning home. It's been 3 minutes since homeroom began. A replacement for Miss Toyama has yet to arrive. Murmuring spread through the room. The class isn't far from crumbling into disorder. The students have completely lost focus. Everyone would prefer to goof off until first period if we're going to be forgotten about anyways. Just one more minute. We'll behave for one more minute. After that, we can do whatever we want. Just as we all make the unspoken agreement, the door rolls open. If the teacher doesn't show up 15 minutes after class starts, you can just go home. Anyone else have dumbasses in high school who would say that shit like every single time a teacher was running late?
はーい、皆さん静かに静かに。ホームルームを始めますよ。
Any character with a beauty spot, once again, much like I can't remember what I mentioned earlier that gave character designs a +2, but this is another thing that throw that on a character, boom, +2. The classroom falls silent. We stare at the complete stranger who just entered the room. She obviously isn't Japanese. In fact, she looks more like a college student than a teacher.
あれ、何かしらこの空気。皆さん揃ってカチンコチンになっちゃってるけど。何？私ったらバジ系女子？ああ、いけない。ちょっと例えがマイナーよね。日本風に言うとリング系女子？でも先生、名前は貞子じゃないんだけど。
Don't worry, I'm not Sadako, I swear. I cringe. Still a pretty ancient reference. The woman doesn't seem bothered by it. She stands behind the teacher's podium and gives an exaggerated cough.
はじめまして。富山先生が転任なされたので、その代行としてやってきた新任の藍染ノエルです。1ヶ月だけのお付き合いになりますが、皆さんよろしくお願いします。担当学科は体育と英語。好きな食べ物はモンブラン。もらって嬉しいプレゼントは現金ないしウェブマネーで、NG ワードはペットショップ。
I mean, who doesn't like getting gift cards on their birthday? I feel like that's sometimes better than regular gifts because you can choose what you want. What is Mont Blanc? Sweetened chestnut puree. Ooh. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. Alright, I'll accept your food taste.
質問は随時受け付けますので、遠慮なくアタックしてください。
How'd you do that with your mouth? How'd you do that little symbol? A thunderous crash breaks the silence. The sound originated from a male student who jumped up from his chair after seeing Ms. Noel's wink. I have to admit, it got me as well. Ms. Noel isn't what I'd call an absolute stunner, but that only adds to her charm. I guess you could say it makes her more approachable? She's the kind of slightly older woman guys my age are really into. Her charm is hard to put into words, but there's something about her that I think tickles every high school guy's fancy.
質問です。ノエル先生はおいくつなんでしょうか。
それよりどこにお住まいなんでしょうか。休みの過ごし方とか趣味が知りたいです。
つうか、好きな高校生のタイプは誰ですか。
Bro's just like, hey man, you want to groom me? Please? 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 A wave of questions comes flooding from the boys. Stuff like this would usually be saved for the anonymous message boards, but after that wink, it seems the guys couldn't wait. The girls look at the boys like they're human trash, but this doesn't seem to bother them, now feverishly bombarding Ms. Noel with questions.
トビウオみたいな反応ありがとう。年齢はどうせ女子の皆さんが暴いちゃうだろうから言っちゃうと25歳。住まいは2駅隣の賃貸マンション。好きなタイプは大人の頭の文系男子。趣味は日曜教会でお手伝いをしています。隣町の教会だから興味があったらお祈りに来てくれると先生嬉しいな。
It will forever fuck me up when characters in anime are like, oh my gosh, look at that woman. She's over the age of, like, being palatable. She's 25. And I'm like, dog, I'm 26. I'm, like, crumbling. It's like, Look at that old person. Not even through their mid-20s yet.
教会？何先生、シスターなの？っていうか、趣味でシスターやってるんですか？
ええ、私の国じゃそう珍しいことじゃありません。ああ、まだまだボランティアレベルで悩める子羊の告白を解決してあげてるだけですけど。
Ms. Noel's surprising openness creates a stir among the male students. If I'm being honest, the word none has piqued my own interest. The girls, on the other hand, are playing with their phones in silence. I casually check the anonymous student forums to see what they're saying. Ugh, the boys are so gross. Do they actually think anyone would be into them? She's not even that pretty. I wish she'd do that, oh, look at me, I'm French thing, somewhere else. She's like, not even hiding how much she's loving this. About what I expected. More and more gossip is posted to the forum. Before long, the class has been bizarrely split along gender lines. The tribes are firmly divided into disgusting boys and nasty girls, a war of cliques right out of middle school. Ms. Noel smiles wanly? Wanly? Give me a pronunciation here. Okay, Wanley. As she watches the chaos unfold.
この子たち、頭の程度は大丈夫なのかしら。
Not something you'd expect to hear from a teacher. Unable to keep up with what's happening, I take a look around and meet eyes with Yumizuka. It looks like she feels the same as me. Those are moments where something insane is just happening and you would look across to like your friend sitting across the room and you would just stare at each other and make like a dumb face. What is happening? The classroom is lively. What should have been a normal day now feels anything but. Morning classes have ended. The classroom feels even more restless than usual. Tensions have been simmering between the guys and the girls since third period, Ms. Noel's class. It seems that the girls have put Ms. Noel in the teachers we don't like category. In any case, it's lunch now. Most of the class is making their way to the cafeteria or the school store. The only ones left in the classroom are Yumizuka and her group of friends. Now, where should I get lunch? I'll eat at the cafeteria, buy some bread and eat in the classroom, or go into the hallway. Option 2 is telling me that I'm gonna hang out with Yumizuka, so I'm gonna do that one. I'll get some bread at the school store and have a simple lunch. My financial prospects from here on out are looking a little grim. The head of the Tono family does not fool around, so I'm not even going to try asking for extra allowance. Best not to get my hopes up. So I need to keep my expenses as low as I can. It would be pathetic if I ended up going broke. Bro lives in the nicest mansion in town and can only afford ice soup. I got the usual from the school store, some filled bread and a carton of tea. It was a madhouse since they just started selling some new kind of bread, so it took me a while to get my lunch. The packed lunch crowd has already finished eating and are just chatting now.
遠野くん、これからランチ？
そう。うるさいのもいないし、気楽にね。弓塚さんは？
私はもう済ませちゃった。それでちょっとおかずが余っちゃったんだけど、これからお昼ならサイドメニューとしてどうかな。
Girl, you're not being clever. I shoot a surreptitious glance at Yumizuka's gaggle of friends. It looks like they're whispering with each other about what's happening between us. Whatever's going on here, if I refuse her offer, Yumizuka is sure to be ridiculed for it later.
それはありがたい。パンだけじゃ味気ないし、ありがたくごちそうになります。
I clap my hands together in appreciation.
そうだよね。パンだけって寂しいよね。はい、これ唐揚げとアサリの佃煮。
Tsukudani. I know Karage. Okay, yeah, probably not for me. That doesn't look super appetizing. But this is also, I don't really like seafood at all. What an odd combination. Her mom made the karage, but Yumizuka made the clams. I have to say, it wasn't bad. Thanks to her, my lunch has become a lot more appetizing.
ごちそうさま。美味しかった。次に機会があれば、次はこっちがお返しさせていただきます。
いいよ、今日はたまたまだから。それより、そうそう、富山先生の話聞いた？
富山の話って昨日のやつか。不幸にあったとかそういう噂の。
あのね、あれ間違いなんだって。
Oh, thank goodness.
何でも自動車事故に巻き込まれて足を骨折したから入院することになったらしいよ。
そうか、それはよかった。あ、いや、よくないな。
It's better than being dead, but
足を怪我して入院ってことは歩けないってことだもんな。富山からしたらふざけるなって怒られそうだ。
あ、そうだよね。私ったら何喜んでるんだろう。ごめんなさい。考えが足りませんでした。
Yumizuka's smile turns into a remorseful frown. But I get how she feels. Even if it was just a rumor, people were saying that she died. Oh, hey Frost, thanks for the raid. How was the rest of Megaton Musashi? Even if it was just a rumor, people were saying that she died. It's only natural to be relieved after hearing that she was actually just injured. Gotta love the Straits invading the realm of mecha anime. Oh yeah, I was like thinking for a raid notification, I was like, what's something that's like, what's peak, basically. That was that one's pretty good. I need them to finish both the Soccer Wars 2 and 3 translation. Mainly 2, like, because I think that one's probably further along, but 3 I'm really excited for. Because I can actually stream that on original hardware. I have a Dreamcast. I don't have a Saturn, and I'm not buying one because I feel like Dreamcast has more I would want. No, 3 looks really cool. I'm really interested because it seems like almost like the magnum opus of the Dreamcast, but like we literally just never got it. So it's insane, like looking at a game that like high production value and everything. Because I've played Soccer Wars 5, at least a good chunk of it, and seeing that, like, seeing how much of that was already back in like 3 is really impressive. Alrighty. Back to Yumizuka, the goat. Even if it was just a rumor, people were saying that she died. It's only natural to be relieved after hearing that she was actually just injured.
気にしないで。俺も弓塚さんと同じだったし。けど、それじゃあしばらく担任不在か。いなければいないで寂しいもんなら。
早く直して戻ってきてほしいよね。
I feel the corners of my mouth turn up. Yumizuka's smile must be contagious. She might not be a head-turning beauty, but she makes up for it with her ability to put people at ease. Why does every compliment have to just be like... Why do you gotta lead every single compliment with like, now listen, she's not like a 10 out of 10, but you know, she's pretty good. Like, Shiki, come on, man. This charming trait has made her our class's go-to confidant. Yumizuka is quiet and easygoing, but she's become very popular regardless. Everyone tacitly agreed to recommend her for the role of class rep, and despite her modest protests of, I wouldn't be good at that, she's been nothing but a natural at it. Before I know it, there are only 2 minutes left until lunch ends. I got some good news, and Arihiko isn't here to make a ruckus. This has the makings of a peaceful afternoon. But I'm sorta unclear as to why she's hanging around me.
弓塚さん、もうすぐ5限目だよ。
うん、知ってる。あと1分でチャイムだよね。
ああ、みんなチャイムが鳴ってから席に戻るだろうから、まだ余裕はあるけど。
いや、どうかな。私的には余裕はないんだけど、でも乾くんがいない今がチャンスというか、その。
With the bell about to ring and our classmates starting to take their seats, Yumizuka struggles to articulate what she's trying to say.
そのですね、これ余ってるから遠野くん使うかな。
Yumizuka holds out a small card. It's a rewards card for a diner?
ありがとう。でもいいの？
ポイントは溜まってるから。いや、友達がピンチでアルバイトに応募したら店長さんにカードいっぱいもらっちゃって、気が向いたら食べに来てね。夕方7時とかそういう時間に。
We are reaching new levels of unsubtle, the likes of which we have never seen before. Yumizuka hastily retreats back to her seat. The bell rings. Truth be told, this is a nice turn of events, but the situation is a bit too complicated for me to simply feel happy about it. All because Arihiko went and brought that stuff up during lunch yesterday. We had just wrapped up our conversation about the Tono family, and we're about to finish our lunches.
ところで弓塚のことだけど、お前あいつに気があるとか付き合う気とかあんの？
I'm so ready for Remake Part 2. Because she was also one of my favorite characters in Melty. She has that wacky-ass grab hitbox. Always feels good. Just like that, I find myself in an unsolicited life counseling session.
なんで今そんな話を？
Listen, Copium, we're gonna get a sequel / like just big update when Red Garden launches, and it's gonna add a few more characters, and she will obviously be there, or I'm going to Nasu and Takeuchi's house because they live together. Still just a really funny tidbit.
いや、今朝もアプローチされてたでしょ君。ちょいと気になってな。弓塚一応クラスのアイドル扱いだろ。万が一にもお前さんに脈があるなら止めておこうと思ってな。
はあ？なんだそりゃ。俺が弓塚さんをどう思っていようとお前には関係ないだろ
う。そりゃねえけどよ。どっちも不幸になる組み合わせとか見てらんねえって思っただけ。
Wow. Harsh. Also, why did we never get Sion? She could be an Under Knight too, but she's not allowed in her own game? Like, come on, bro.
弓塚はああ見えて、なんつうか。まあいいや。確かに俺が口を挟むことじゃねえ。で、どうなんだよ。あいつと付き合う気あんの？あんだけモーションかけられてたら、普通は即彼女確定だろ
う。それは難しいと思うけど。
ほう。弓塚タイプじゃないのか？
そうじゃなくて。断っておくと、俺、弓塚さんタイプだからな。お前が粉かけようものなら全力で止めるぐらい。
パパかてめえは。じゃあなんで距離取ってんだよ。
いや、それが。なんていうか、弓塚さんを見てると、なんでか悲しくなるんだ。
What a fucking thing to say.
そりゃひで。脈なしとかありとか、それ以前の話だったか。
I was about to say, that's a... I bury my face in my hands, frustrated by my own selfishness. But I've always been like this, and I've never been able to do anything about it. Every decent person I meet, it's like I subconsciously put them on a pedestal and keep them at arm's length. It's not that I dislike them or anything. I just get scared and can't let myself get close to them. Ah, we got that, good old, that hedgehog's dilemma. Ava is actually in everything. It's one of those things that once you watch, it is literally everywhere. And now I have this card worth exactly 1,000 yen that I have no idea what to do with. The name of the restaurant is Lindbergh. It's a run-of-the-mill diner by the north exit of Soya Station. Okay, am I going insane, or is there that little part in the song, in the background of it, it sounds a little bit like the prelude from Final Fantasy. I might also have brain damage because I crammed like 50 hours of Dawn Trail over this last weekend, but regardless, there's like... It's like doing the same kind of like escalation of the chord at least. School ends. I didn't have any dizziness or anemia. It was a good day today. Well, if you discount the emergence of a strange new virus rampaging through our classroom. The girls have taken to calling it Noel fever. Noelitis is another one. Not even lunch served to cool the tension between the afflicted boys and the girls side-eyeing them. It's looking like the battle will continue into tomorrow. The boys who managed to break the fever were showered with praise by the girls, but labeled idiots, traitors, and worse by their still feverish former brethren. Just another day at high school. Still, I don't understand why everyone is so obsessed with her. I mean, Akiha is way pretty... It just hits you out of nowhere sometimes. Did she telepathically detect my roasting or something?
口から心臓でも吐き出しそうな顔なのね。何かいけないことでも考えていたのかしら？
いえ、そういうわけでは決して。それより何でしょうか、ノエル先生。
I swallow the guilt I feel from comparing Miss Noelle and Akiha and try my best to change the subject. And then, a smile flickers across Miss Noelle's face, like she's seen straight through me.
ノエル先生という響きはいいものね。日本にはまだ慣れていなくて不安だったけど、あなたみたいに純朴な子に先生って呼ばれるのは癖になりそう。背徳的でちょっとドキドキしちゃうもの。
Lady?
ノエル先生、ちょっと近いんですけど。
気にしないで。というか、こういう時は鈍いふりをして黙っているものよ。ほら、ね、私の首筋、綺麗でしょ?
Oh, she thinks I'm a vampire. I don't know if it's nerves, the power of the setting sun. I hear her voice not from in front of me, but behind me, like she's whispering directly into my ear.
そう警戒しないで。ただ指と指を重ねるだけ。体温を伝えるだけ。私の体を預けるだけ。そう。あなたに私を食べてもらいたいだけ。
Oh my lord. Her breath nears. Our legs intertwine. She wraps her arms around my back like she doesn't want me escaping. Right in front of me. A woman's smooth, seductive neck.
ほら、心音だけでとろけてしまうでしょ。だから忘れて。あなたを忘れて。邪魔なものは全部取ってしまえばいいの。その建前も、そのメガネも。
Oh, she's gonna try and take his glasses off. Her fingers slither up to my glasses. The moment she touches them, I jump away. My entire body revolts against the idea of seeing the lines.
な 記念の冗談でした。
Mm-hmm. Again, how do you keep doing that with your mouth?
日本風に言うとちょっとしたスキンシップじゃなくて名刺交換。どっちにしてもまだまだ形だけの付き合いってことね、私たち。
冗談って、ノエル先生。
I don't think that's what you would call what just transpired. There's a limit to the kind of jokes you can crack as a teacher.
そもそも要は何なんですか？俺を探してたような口ぶりでしたけど。
ああ、それはもういいの。ちょっと手伝ってもらいたいことがあっただけ。それももう終わったわ。それじゃあさようなら、しきくん。富山先生みたいにならないよう気をつけて帰ってね。
What a fucking thing to say to someone. Ms. Noel leaves with a wave. Something about that last remark bothers me. Something I read on Twitter is that this game has, like, apparently, it has a 100 save limit, but allegedly also, like, over 100 choices, which I don't know if that's necessarily possible even, but, well, actually, and there's, like, if each branch has, like, 3 choices and there's, you know, common route, then it's possible, I suppose. I mean, let's ask, because
ノエル先生。
I call out to her. I can't help but ask.
富山先生みたいにってどんなです？
I ask a question that shouldn't be asked. Ms. Noel, the substitute for Ms. Toyama, softly places her index finger to her lips.
富山先生はね、昨日お亡くなりになったのよ。公園の外れで体の半分が焼け落ちていたんだって。
She responds almost like she's singing. Hey Shiki, go home safe. Don't end up like your dead teacher that just died. I leave the school. The left side of my throat hurts a little, like something has scratched it. I don't have anything to do. I go straight home or go to that diner. Already saving again so soon. I mean, listen, her route's not in this game, but god damn it. Maybe I'll drop by that diner. The rewards card that Yumizuka gave me is still in my wallet. I'm not hungry, but I could have a cup of tea. And I don't want to make her gift go to waste, so I'll check out where she works. The nape of my neck is strangely warm. It feels swollen. Maybe that's why I don't remember where I'm going. Night covers the city like water from a leaky pipe. It's far more lively than this morning. The shining headlights of cars. The throngs of people that the station swallows up and spits out. The number of uniformed students has dropped drastically, and brightly clothed people now on the streets. I rise from the bench I was sitting on. It's time. I start towards the shopping district, though I have no reason to go there. Okay. I slip into a side street away from the main avenue. It's more of an alley than a street. There's no one around. Completely silent. No sign of life. Nothing except the rustling from in there. The light from the vending machines is blinding. A modern convenience at odds with this place. I hurry past the glaring brightness. I make for the darkness, darkness befitting of the night. To shadowy places more confined and further from prying eyes. I place my hands on the rusted fence. If I can open this and go inside, I can...
ちょっとそこの人
The voice stops me in my tracks. I come back to my senses in a daze. I don't understand. Why did I come here? And why was I trying to go in there?
すみません100円持ってませんか
I turn around and find a strange girl standing in front of the vending machines. It seems she wants to buy a drink, but doesn't have any change. I'm not sure if it's the guilt I feel at losing myself, or if I just can't bring myself to refuse, but I hand the girl 100 yen.
どうも助かりました
The girl pushes my money through the coin slot and presses a button. She picks up the can that is dispensed, then scrunches her face into a frown.
こんな時間に散歩とかのんきですねお家の人待ってるんじゃないですか
I check my phone. The clock informs me it's 7:40 without a hint of mercy. I only have 20 minutes until my curfew. In a panic, I make to dash out of the alleyway. When from behind,
待ってください
the girl calls out to me again.
何悪いけど急いで
The girl tosses the canned drink to me. Surprised, I catch it. Didn't she buy this for herself, though?
それあげます
なんで
どれも飲めない味でした
The girl voices her displeasure and walks past me briskly. I will say, this is the most unbelievable part of this game. The fact that you would look at a Japanese vending machine and not find a single thing that was to your taste. I doubt it. I've seen the drinks that come out of those things. Ugh. I need to go to that country sometime.
いや
Feels like that's a lot for just that line, but I rush away as well. What kind of brother? No. What kind of human being breaks his curfew on the first day? I've got to get back now or else Akiha will rip me a new one. You fell asleep at the library. You fell asleep at the library. I open and close the door as quietly as possible and sneak into the lobby. I make sure my greeting isn't too loud or too quiet. It's 1 minute before 8. My mad dash from the station narrowly got me home on time, but I feel like I'm going to throw up. That hill is a killer. I totally forgot that my downhill path to school means I have to climb uphill to get back home.
お帰りなさいませ四季様お疲れとは存じますがお部屋に戻る前に執務室においでください秋葉様からお話があるとのことです
執務室ですか
Ooh, you're in trouble. I should have guessed that being called to the office meant Akiha wasn't happy with me.
寄り道をするのは金銭に余裕があるからでしょう
No!
今回の罰として兄さんの月々の交友費を2割ほど減らすことにします
My punishment, doled out to me the moment I entered the office, without any chance to explain myself. I guess I didn't realize I would be getting money each month from my sister, and now it's already been slashed. I hope you're happy, old man. Akiha is even stricter than you were.
でもそれはないだろうまあ日がく
あら
Oh, ah.
それ
If
は
that too
意
fast.
外でした私と約束を交わした自覚はあったんですねではどうして守れなかったんです
いやーそれがつい忘れてたみたいで
I'm cutting it by 40%.
私も言い忘れていました罰の追加として今夜の夕食は抜きとします
She's a tyrant. If she's this angry when I actually make my curfew, I don't know whether I'll survive if I actually miss it. I trudge back across the lobby on my way to my room. Despite my protests, I wasn't able to convince Akiha to let me have dinner. Though she did agree to only decrease my allowance by 10%. A singular but important victory as an older brother. Kohaku, my ally! Kohaku calls out to me before I arrive at my room. Hidden in the corner of the hallway, she seems to have reverted to her conspirator mode from this morning.
もうダメですよ。今日ぐらいはちゃんと帰ってこないと。いくらなんでも1日目なら言うことを聞いてくれるだろうって、もうありえないぐらい早めに帰ってきてたんですから。
帰ってきてたって誰がですか？
そんなの決まって。いえ、なんでもございません。それはともかくとして、夕食抜きは使用人として見過ごせません。ですので、お部屋の方に軽食をご用意しておきました。おにぎりとお味噌汁という簡単なものですが。
What a thoughtful housekeeper! It was the same with my phone this morning. She's being so nice to me, even though it might get her in trouble with Akiha.
でもいいんですか？俺はすごく助かりますけど。
はい、四季さんの健康に関わることですもの。それに、これは翡翠ちゃんも同意していますから。秋葉様に見つかっても、二人で謝れば許していただけますよ。
そうか、あの子も。
Despite how stoic she looks, she's pretty thoughtful. I guess she took pity on me having to go without dinner, though she didn't show it.
四季さん、あの子じゃないのです。
ああ、うん、分かってる。でもまだうまく話せないから、気軽に名前で呼ぶのは申し訳ない気がして。
いいえ、それはいけません。ひどいお話です。翡翠ちゃんはああ見えてとっても優しいんですから。四季さんもどうかこれからは気軽に家族と思って翡翠ちゃんと呼んであげてくださいな。
Kohaku looks straight at me. Maybe I have been a little unfair to Hisui. She's looking out for me just like Kohaku is. I should give her a break.
わかりました。これからは何があっても翡翠ちゃん、いや、ちゃん付けはさすがに恥ずかしいんで、翡翠の名前を呼びます。
はい、それは大変ようございます。
Kohaku bids me a good evening and returns to the first floor. In my heart, I give thanks to my guardian angel, the nightingale of the Tono mansion, and return to my room. Onigiri, huh? No doubt they're delicious if Kohaku made them. Please tell me Hisui didn't make them. I remember not a whole lot. I remember that she is the bad cook, though. After I scarfed down Kohaku's onigiri, Hisui came to tell me the bath was available. And by the time I return to my room, it's 9 p.m. It's a little too early to sleep. All I have to read is textbooks, and I'm not feeling particularly tired. If I have time to kill anyway, I'll go to the parlor and talk with Akiha, stop by Kohaku's, or relax in my room. First, we're going to save it up. And then I'm actually going to BRB real quick. I am really hungry. Selenuntius is dead. Who the hell is Selenuntius? Okay, this is that is a Japanese literature reference apparently. Huh. Well, but yeah, I will be right back. I need food, otherwise I'm gonna die. Be right back. And we're back. I was gonna make, like, actual food, but that would take too long. I only have frozen stuff. So I just grabbed some chips. Alright. Kohaku has TV. I'll try stopping by Kohaku's room. On my way to the bathroom earlier, I think I figured out roughly where Kohaku's room might be. Thank you. I make for the end of the hallway on the first floor of the west wing. The kitchen should be down the end of this hall, opposite the lobby. And from what I understand, Kohaku's room is just in front of the kitchen.
琥珀さんの部屋はここかな。
I knock lightly on the door.
琥珀さん、います。
はーい、ちょっと待ってくださいね。
A cheerful voice comes from inside the room. After a couple minutes, Kohaku's face appears from behind the door.
あれ、四季さんじゃないですか。どうしたんです？こんな時間に。
いえ、実はテレビを見せてもらおうかなって。
はい。
Sis is flabbergasted.
ああ、そのですね。この家ってテレビがないでしょ。今まで普通の家で暮らしてきた俺にしてみると、寝る前にのんびりテレビを見るのが日課だったりするわけで、見ないと落ち着かないというか。
The more I talk, the more I realize how stupid I sound. God, if that ain't true. What kind of person tries to get into a girl's room by asking to watch TV? Even Kohaku can't hide her disgust at my... Or maybe not.
言われてみればその通りです。四季さんは今まで有馬のお家で暮らしていたんですもの。いきなりこの屋敷の空気は重かったでしょ？ですね。このこと、明葉様と翡翠ちゃんに話しちゃいました？
このことって、琥珀さんの部屋に行くってこと？
Kohaku nods.
いえ、誰にも話していませんよ。
大変結構です。もしお話しされていたら、四季さんを追い返さないといけないところでしたから。
Kohaku offers me a smile, then glances up and down the hallway.
幸いあたりに人影なし。
This is the single most gremlin expression I think I've seen in this game so far. You see this face, there is nothing good happening in your future.
さあさあ、見つかると大変ですから上がってくださいな。
Kohaku grips my arm.
うわ
The view that greets me inside is not at all what I was expecting. Half of the room is floored with tatami, with a cabinet placed flush against the inner wall, Japanese architecture through and through. The other half of the room is Western style, though simple it looks like more like a school infirmary than a room you'd expect to find in a giant mansion like this.
適当なところに座ってください。
Oh god, she's making her concoctions and brews.
私、お茶を入れてきますから。
Kohaku leaves the room. I clear my throat and take a seat on the sofa in the Japanese half of the room. Kohaku's room looks more like a meticulously organized office than the room of a young woman. That like shelf on the wall there with like all those like super tiny drawers, I think that's like how they store medicine and stuff, because at the very least I remember seeing shelves like that when I was watching Apothecary Diaries. The cabinet in the back is filled with little drawers. They're so small, whatever they contain must easily fit in my hand.
あのタンスってもしかして
One of those cabinets used to store medicine. Okay, yeah, I was right. It must be. The local doctor I visited when I was with the Arimas had a similar one in his house. Wait, could that mean Kohaku has a medical license? No, that's just not possible. She's way too young for something like that. I look away and spy the TV remote resting on a floor cushion. I wonder if she was watching something earlier.
はい、お 待たせしました、四季さん。ソチャですが、どうぞ。
あ、どうも。お構いなく。
いえいえ、こちらこそ気の利いたおもてなしはできそうになくて。
Kohaku smiles as she sets out the green tea and Mizuyokan and sweets to go with it.
テレビでしたね。四季さんはこの時間、何を見ているんですか？
特に決まってないけど、基本的にはニュースかな。
そうなんですか。四季さんは落ち着いていますから、食後は読書をなさるのかななんて思っていたんですけど。
残念ながら、そんな殊勝な心がけはないんです。よく勤勉な学生と見られがちなんですけど、根はぐうたらで。メガネのおかげで真面目そうに見えるんでしょうか。
Yeah, even like, I've met dumb people who have to wear glasses, but people just assume like that they're smart because they wear glasses, and it's like, nah, dude, I just have fucked up eyes.
あ、そうでした。四季さんったらメガネをかけていらしたんですもの。実は昨日お出迎えした時に心の中でびっくりしていたんですよ。
それはどうして？
だって秋葉様は四季さんがメガネをかけているなんて一度もおっしゃりませんでしたから、てっきり秋葉様に似た涼しげかつ鋭い目をしたお方が来るんだって身構えておりました。
Kohaku smiles as if to say she had nothing to worry about. Huh. Now that she mentions it, I never saw Akiha after I got my glasses.
けど、このメガネは伊達メガネなんですよ。目は悪いといえば悪いんだけど、視力は平均よりいい方だし、別に勉強のしすぎで視力が落ちたわけじゃないんです。ああ、知的なイメージがあったのに幻滅させちゃいました。
そんなことはありません。私だって本よりテレビの方が楽しいですもの。四季さんが思った通りの元気な方で嬉しいです。
What a nice lady.
そうですか。それはどうも。
I find myself trying to look anywhere else. The carefree smile that Kohaku beams my way sets my heart racing for some reason.
あ、ごめんなさい。ニュースを見に来られたのにおしゃべりをしてしまって。
Kohaku switches the TV on. Images flash onto the monitor. It's a little past 9:30, late enough that the news has shifted from lighter topics to more serious ones.
ありゃ、また通り魔殺人ですか。
They're running a piece about the murders. While the slashing started in a neighboring ward, the most recent ones have all been here in Soya. The piece covers just the basics. They describe the crime. Young women walking late at night are taken indiscriminately, killed, and finally have their blood drained from them. There are already 8 victims, and the police are being criticized for their consistent failure to turn up any leads. Ah, man. The media doesn't report anything else in detail. They skip over any commonalities between the victims or exactly how they died, simply stating that their blood had been drained, probably trying to prevent any copycats from appearing.
怖い話ですね。おまわりさんは何をしているんでしょう。
You're asking a lot there, Kohaku.
突発的な犯行なんで、犯人の動機が絞れないとか。深夜の通り魔的な犯行なら、見つかりさえしなければ後を追えません。
単に襲われてしまった方たちの運が悪い。いえ、目撃者の出ない犯人の運がいいとおっしゃるのですか？
まあ、そうでもないと、2週間近く犯人が見つからないのはおかしいでしょ。
どうでしょう。しっかりとした準備があるのなら、それはおかしな話ではなくなると思いますよ。想像でしかありませんが、殺人というものは数を重ねれば重ねるほど証拠を残してしまうものです。
There's nothing more real in life than the desire to play armchair detective.
行方不明者が8人いるというのなら、証拠は積み上がりませんが、遺体が8人分も発見されているのなら、
She don't got internet. That is fair. There is explicitly no internet at the Tono estate.
なのに犯人が捕まらないのは、捕まらないだけの理由を犯人が作っているからと推測できます。
Kohaku would watch like True Minds or other garbage like murder shows like that. World's biggest NCIS fan. That was unexpected. In my awe, all I can manage is a quick, that makes sense. Regardless of whether her speculation is right or not, I didn't expect her to be the type to think so hard about things like this.
しかしそうなると犯人は突発的な通り魔じゃなくて用意周到な殺人鬼になりますね。仮にそいつが通り魔のふりをして計画的にことを進めているんなら、殺された人たちは無関係に見えてやっぱりつながりがあるとか。
ないんじゃないでしょうか。そんなつながりがあったら、それこそ2人目ぐらいで警察の皆さんも気がつくでしょうし、結局のところこれは陰徳性に関しては超人的レベルの用意周到さなのに、目的性に関しては極めて薄い理解不能の事件ですね。
Kohaku says all this with a smile on her face. Looks like she's not too concerned.
琥珀さん、これってこの町で起きてる事件なんですよ。琥珀さんだって若い女の子なんだから、少しは怖いって思わないんですか？
For a second I was like, what's my monitor doing? And I'm like, oh, the little light flashing is from the TV in the corner.
嫌ですね。大丈夫ですよ。通り魔さんは深夜に出現するだけですから、夜は外に出なければ会うこともありません。
Looks like Kohaku has actually thought this through. This all just seems too gruesome to think rationally like that, but maybe that's how most people treat news they see on the TV.
お邪魔しました。また見たくなったらやってきますから、その時はよろしくお願いします。
はい、ぜひお待ちしておりますね。
Kohaku glances up and down the hallway again.
このままお部屋までお見送りしたいのは山々ですが、四季さんのお部屋には翡翠ちゃんが待ってますから。
はい。それじゃあ、おやすみなさい。
What a nice young lady. I had no idea that the mansion had a 10 p.m. bedtime. In addition to the 8 o'clock curfew for coming home, there seems to be an unspoken rule that prevents people from leaving their rooms after 10.
まったく。親父がいなくなっても堅苦しいのは変わらないんだな。
Though I suppose that makes sense. The Tono family has functioned like this for hundreds of years, despite any technological advances or shifting trends. I don't expect anything to change just because Akiha has taken over.
むしろよくしてくれてる方だよな。少なくとも親戚筋をよそにやってくれたんだから。
Everything here is so different it has me exhausted. I'll head back to my room for tonight. It's 10 o'clock. The lights in the room go out automatically. Apparently, things are set up so that all lights in the mansion go out when it hits 10, aside from those in the office. Manually flipping the switch should turn a room's lights back on again, but that's intended for emergencies only. They'd probably catch me if I tried to use my room's nightstand light. And I'm not allowed to go outside my room after 10 either.
こっそりスタンドライトでも買ってくるとか?
Bro has to buy his own fucking light. They have little foldable ones about the size of a cell phone these days. This is just way too early for lights out, any way you slice it.
ま、必要はないか。基本夜は寝るものだし。
Dang, he not like me for real.
試験期間の時なら就寝時間も伸ばしてもらえるだろう。
I change into the clean pajamas set aside for me and crawl into bed. Ever since I was injured in that accident, part of me has resisted lying down like this. I used to hate letting my body get comfortable, and even more so if it meant sleeping in a soft bed. From what I hear, it caused a lot of trouble for Keiko when I first stayed with the Arimas. I always slept like a rock, but I hated going to sleep.
よし、寝るか。
I feel like that's a lot of kids. I feel like kids are like demons when it comes to actually falling asleep, but the second they are actually like asleep, it is like there has to be like an earthquake or something going on to wake them up. I just remember all the time growing up as a kid, my parents would be like, "Oh, did you hear that insane thunderstorm last night?" And I'm like, "No, I didn't even know it rained." You can just sleep through anything if you're like a kid. I announce it to myself, even though it should go without saying. What an odd thing to say. I take off my glasses and close my eyes. I only had trouble sleeping when I was a child. Now, once I close my eyes, I can fall asleep just as well as... It's starting. A strange cry washes over my ears like a wave. The howl of an animal. Sounds too high to be a dog. It rings in my eardrums. Is it howling at the moon? There's a gnawing pit in my stomach. The howling brings on a headache. The sound doesn't stop. It's like a bullet rattling around the inside of my skull. I throw on my glasses and open my eyes. Dog is still howling somewhere outside my window. The clock has just struck 11. How am I supposed to sleep like this? It sounds like it's coming from outside the mansion. I seriously doubt I can fall asleep like this. I get up from bed and change into my school uniform. The others must be having trouble sleeping too. I'm the only man in the mansion, so I should go see what's happening. I head outside. The night is eerily still, like it's been frozen in place. The moon is hidden by clouds. Even the light from the lampposts is perfectly constant, like splotches of fallen paint on a canvas. Strangely enough, the howling seems weaker now that I'm outside. Or is it fading away? It doesn't matter. The nagging pain it's causing isn't in my ears, but my brain and eyes. Hearing it sets my heart pumping and my whole body on edge, a feeling I can't control at all. Each step feels heavy. I've lost some feeling in the tips of my fingers. Then, I realize something. I can see my breath, a pale white against the cold. It's quiet outside the estate, like someone hit the pause button. My shadow is the only thing moving in this motionless world. I feel thirsty for some reason. The high walls bordering the estate stretch alongside the darkened road. I warm my numbing fingers with my breath, walking towards where I suspect the dogs have gathered. All thought ceases. Under the distant streetlight is something I've never seen before, something no one should ever see. An incomprehensible sight. A dog, half melted. What is that? A long blade pointed downward. What is that? A howl dissolving with the dog. What is that? A blade stabbing down. What is that? A roar that makes me question my sanity. Or maybe a sudden gale. As the wave threatening to rupture my eardrums disappears, So does the howling and the dog along with it. Like they never existed in the first place. Dissolved into nothingness without a trace. Is this an illusion? What I'm seeing is a hallucination. That or a dream. Is this an illusion? A strange figure stands under the light, cut out from the darkness. Bro, fix your posture. Is it wearing a coat? The silhouette in the thick coat doesn't seem to have noticed me standing here yet. My throat grows dry. My whole body is sweating. The night air sticks to my skin. Despite just standing here, I feel a pressure like I'm at the bottom of the ocean. I'm remembering right, I think this guy is voiced by, oh, I'm usually so good with, like, voice actors' names. Kenjiro Suda. Yeah, that's his Japanese voice, at least. I was gonna say, because it's Kaiba, but it's also just a very recognizable voice. A language from a far-off land enters my ears. I'm so dizzy it feels like I could pass out. I'm narrowly able to muster some strength in my legs and prevent myself from falling. Then, all I see is an ordinary, empty public road. I gasp as my lungs hungrily suck in oxygen. I hadn't noticed, but it seems I hadn't been properly breathing ever since I left the main gate. There's no howling to be heard anymore. I leave behind the terrible vision I've seen. I return to my room. It didn't seem like the others are still awake. I guess I was the only one bothered by the howling. It's strange. My head is still pounding. I swear they've used this exact same, like, throbbing sound effect, like, all the way since, like, the original Fate Stay Night. Like, it's one of those sound effects that just keeps, like, they keep around. My fingers are quivering. My whole body shivers. My spine is freezing. If I were to compare it to something, it's like my spinal cord has been torn out and replaced with a pillar of ice. Nausea hits me like a sack of bricks. Is this my usual anemia? It feels like the contents of my head are being dumped out onto the floor. I see something I don't want to see on the way down. Even with my glasses on, I can see the lines. Bile rises in my throat as my eyes recoil from the sight, the result of trying to avoid seeing them these past 7 years. My mind can't take this. I feel sick, the dizziness from my anemia as my stomach trying to escape through my throat. I don't understand. As long as my eyes are open, the scribbles continue to invade my senses. I somehow make it to my bed. Yes, I should just go to sleep. That's the quickest way to deny the reality in front of me. My body won't move how I want it to, so I'll stay like this, like a corpse. I'll just sleep. Like, yeah, there we go! We had a similar line last time, but this time we actually have the full line itself proper. Let's go, baby. I think last time the line was something along the lines of like a machine with its plug pulled, and I'm like, that's close, but not quite the literal exact terminology of a puppet with its strings cut. Day 3, Impulse Inversion. It was something Master once told me. The lines that I see are the parts that break more easily. The same as how a human body has weaknesses, like at the joints or the eyes. I can cut anything without worrying about resistance or friction, just by lightly tracing the lines with a blade. Whether it's a human body or inanimate objects, there are lines in all that I see.
よく聞いてね、シキ。あらゆるものは壊れてしまうという運命を内包しているの。形がある以上、こればっかりは逃れようのない前提でしょ?
In other words, the world is stitched up. It's only ever a step away from breaking apart. Say the scribbles run across the earth. Then one day, for maybe no reason at all, the ground could come apart and everything would break. That's what my reality is like.
そして、私たち人間はさらに細かく壊れやすい。怪我も回復も、老化も成長も、流星も衰弱も、すべては終わりに近づく変化だから。
I never felt more thankful for Master's glasses than when I first came to understand those words. I couldn't have survived if I had to see those lines all the time. Fragile lines in all things. An unbound, unstable world. Nothing can be gained from seeing them. Nothing at all. I awake from an old memory. Feeling the light through my eyelids, I reach over to the other side of the bed. My glasses are gone? As worry creeps in, I try the other side of the pillow, where I find my glasses waiting for me. I usually make sure to place them on my left. It must be because of that awful headache I had last night. I put on my glasses before I open my eyes. The ritual would probably look strange to anyone who saw it, but I try to avoid seeing the lines even from the moment I wake up.
おはようございます、四季様。
I look over towards the source of the voice to find a girl in a maid uniform, standing by the wall. I didn't even notice her. It seems she's been there a while, too. She must be here for the same reason as yesterday, to make sure I don't oversleep.
そっか、ごめん。驚くのはおかしかった。おはよう、翡翠。起こしに来てくれてありがとう。
それが私の役割ですから、どうかお気になさらないようお願いします。
Isui lowers her head solemnly. She stops and raises it back up in one fluid motion.
いえ、驚かすのが仕事ということではなく、明日は四季様を驚かせないよう努力いたします。
Isui can be a little strange sometimes. I get the impression that, while she's a perfect maid, she's not quite used to speaking with people.
いや、翡翠には何の問題もないと思うよ。まだ慣れていない俺が悪いんだ。
I get up from the bed and realize that I'm wearing pajamas. I remember changing into my uniform to see what was up with that howling, and then I passed out on the bed after coming back.
おかしいな。俺、制服のまま眠ったと思うんだけど。
はい。あのままではお体に悪いので、姉さんに来てもらって、寝巻きに着替えさせていただきました。
Dog, how asleep do you have to be to, like, get fully, your whole outfit changed and not wake up? That's the murder, like, horror dream, or sleep, so you know what? It's fine. Isui plainly explains what happened. Oh, that makes sense. They changed my clothes for me. I don't know if there's anything especially unhealthy about sleeping in my uniform, but I guess it could get wrinkled. They sure are professional maids. Hold up.
着替えだって。
I quickly check my pants and underwear. Both look brand new. Oh, yippee.
翡翠、
はい。何でしょう。
気を使ってくれたのは嬉しいんだけど、これからは何としても起こしてくれ。着替えっていうのはほら、やっぱり自分でやるものだし。
I look down, embarrassed. Hisui, on the other hand, simply nods in affirmation.
学校の制服はそちらに畳んであります。着替えがお済みになられましたら、今においでください。
はあ、普通なら気がつくもんだけど、そんなに疲れてたのか、俺。
There's no point dwelling on it. I can't change what's already happened. I should change and head down for breakfast. My uniform is folded up neatly. She's even gone to the trouble of ironing the shirt. It feels like putting on a new shirt for the first time. Akiha and Kohaku are already in the parlor. Having probably finished breakfast some time ago, Akiha is gracefully sipping a cup of tea. I greet Akiha, greet Kohaku, or greet them both. I feel like this is one of those situations where playing favorites is a bad idea, so we'll just go ahead and greet them both. That feels like the best option.
二人ともおはよ
おはようございます、四季さん。
Kohaku smiles radiantly, her homey white apron accentuating the warmth she naturally exudes. Akiha, on the other hand, only glances my way.
今朝は随分とゆっくりなんですね。まさかとは思いますが、休日と勘違いしているとか？
No mercy, not even in the morning.
う。ゆっくりってまだ7時を過ぎたばかりじゃないか。ここからうちの高校まで徒歩30分ちょいなんだ。今日は早起きした方だよ。
つまり朝食にかける時間は10分だけですか。お腹を空かせた犬じゃないんですから、朝食はゆっくりとってください。
Kiha wastes no time in pummeling my defenses. Her lightning-quick reflexes and razor-sharp rebukes ought to be feared. Like playing tennis with a wall, everything I throw at her comes right back at me.
兄さん、何か今不審なことを言いかけましたか？
いや、何も。それより犬じゃないんですからって秋葉。
That reminds me. I should ask about the dog from last night.
なあ、秋葉。昨日の夜のことだけど、ここって毎晩ああなのか？
はい。
だから、昨日の夜の話だよ。あれじゃ秋葉たちだって眠れなかっただろ。
昨夜はきちんと熟睡できましたけど、何の話でしょう？
What is blood waffling about?
何の話かって、犬の話に決まってるだろ。夜の11時頃、野犬が吠えっぱなしだったじゃないか。
Akiha and Kohaku share a glance before casting a concerned gaze in my direction. They're looking at me like I'm a madman.
いえ、秋葉には聞かない。琥珀さん、昨日の夜はうるさかったよね。
どうなんでしょうか。確かに昨夜は風が強かったとは思いますけど、深夜の見回りで発見した異常は、四季さんが制服のままベッドの上で眠っていらしたことぐらいですよ。
ああ、それですか。これからは気をつけます。
何かあったの、琥珀？いえ、別に何もありませんでしたよ。ちょっと四季さんの寝相が悪かった。
Kohaku dodges the question with a smile.
本当に二人とも気がつかなかったのか？昨日の夜、30分ぐらい外で野犬が吠えてたのに。
はあはあ、それはワンワンパニックですね。
Boo! Get off the stage. I can't quite tell if she actually believes me or not.
まあ、わかりやすく言うと、そういうこと。
私はそんな覚えはありませんけど、琥珀もないでしょ？そうですね。四季さんには申し訳ないのですが、 そのようなことはなかったと思います。
決まりね。あと考えられるケースといったら、兄さんは犬に吠えられる夢でも見ていたと。
With how confident they both seem, I'm starting to doubt myself now. Now that I think about it, it was weird. There wasn't even a dog when I went to look. There was... No, there can't have been anyone. When they say it like that, it really does start to feel more and more like a dream.
兄さんはまだ屋敷に慣れていないから、そんなタチの悪い夢を見たんでしょう。そうですね。今夜も野犬に吠えられるようでしたら、とびっきり獰猛な番犬でも飼うことにしましょうか。
Hard cut to a doghouse and a coot just like crawls out. A malicious smile creeps in onto Akiha's lips.
私は時間ですので、お先に失礼します。兄さん、登校中に犬に襲われないよう気をつけてくださいね。
Akiha leaves the parlor with a graceful stride. Kohaku bows to me before leaving to see her off. I eat breakfast in the dining room and exit to the lobby. Hisui follows behind me with my bag in hand. I told her I could carry it on my own, but she insisted she hold it at least until the entrance. I guess Akiha isn't the only one that has me at a disadvantage. Or maybe in Hisui's case, I'm just soft. Akiha beats me over the head with her ironclad logic. It's also hard to defy her when her status holds more weight around here than mine. It's the opposite when it comes to Hisui. I'm in a position where I can boss Hisui around, but I couldn't possibly bring myself to. There's something about the way she looks at me. I just want to listen to whatever she says.
四季さん、四季さん、ちょっと待ってください。
Kohaku hurries down the steps from the second floor. Hisui draws back as Kohaku approaches.
あれ、琥珀さんはアキハと一緒じゃなかったの？
秋葉様はお車で学校に向かわれますから、今朝は四季さんにお届け物があるので、屋敷に残らせていただいたんです。
Oh?
お届け物って俺に？
はい、昨日有馬家の方から荷物が届いたんですよ。
Bright smile flashes across Kohaku's face.
いや、俺は自分の荷物は全部持ってきたよ。もともと向こうで使ってたのは有馬の家のものだったから、自分のものなんて着てる服ぐらいで。
そうなんですか？こちらが届けられたお荷物ですけど。
Kohaku hands me a narrow wooden box about 20 centimeters in length. It's light.
琥珀さん、
うん。
俺はこんなの見たこともないんだけど。
四季さんのお父様の遺品とのことですけど、四季さんに譲られるようにと遺言があったとか。
あの親父が俺に？
That hardly seems real. Why would the man who forced me out 7 years ago leave me something in his will?
まあいいや。琥珀さん、これ部屋に置いておいて。
Kohaku's eyes are fixated on the box, curiosity plastered all over her face. She's like a kid staring at a birthday present.
じー。
Or maybe she is a kid.
わかりました。中身が気になるんですね、琥珀さんは。
いえ、そんなことはないですよ。ただ、どんな贈り物なのか興味があるだけで。
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
なら開けてみましょう。せーの。
The box opens with a dry clack. Inside is a thin iron shaft, about 15 centimeters long.
鉄の棒だ。
It's a plain thing, unadorned, but it seems to show signs of heavy use. My father must have really not cared for me if he left me something like this. And I seem to recall the rod he used being thicker and even less decorated.
違いますよ、四季さん。これ、果物ナイフなんじゃないでしょうか。
Uh-oh. Kohaku takes the iron shaft out of the box.
ほら、飛び出しナイフってあるじゃないですか。あれと同じみたいです。せーの。はい。
Oh, trust me, we are saving at every available choice. Though we do actually want to die because we want to see Neko Arc whenever possible. With a metallic noise, a 10cm blade shoots out. Huh, it really is a knife.
中の構造は今風のようですが、外側は随分と古いものみたいですね。ほら、裏に年号も書かれています。
Kohaku retracts the blade and hands me the knife. She's right, there's a number just below the grip. The character for 7 read Nana or Shichi, and the character for night, Yoru or Ya.
姉さん、これ年号じゃない。七つ夜と書かれているだけよ。
7 nights. I look back to see Hisui standing directly behind me, sneaking a glimpse at the knife. Oh yeah, she likes knives.
びっくりした。脅かさないでくれ、翡翠。そんな後ろから覗かなくても、見たければ、ほら。
失礼いたしました。その担当があまりに綺麗でしたから、つい。
綺麗？これ、綺麗って言うかな。どっちかっていうと鈍いというか、古臭い感じだけど。
そんなことはありません。由緒正しい鼓動だと思います。
そうなの？俺にはガラクタにしか見えないけど。
Seeing Hisui so resolute about it has stirred my own curiosity. Yeah, not a bad memento now that I look at it.
七つ夜ですか。その果物ナイフの名前でしょうかね。
I don't think many people would bother naming a knife, but it does seem like a relic from a different time. I stow it away in my bag. It may technically be against the law to carry it around, but one day couldn't hurt. God. I remember I had a friend in high school who he had a butterfly knife, and he was messing around with it one day in class, and like a teacher saw it, and he got like, because you know, punishment at school works on like a point system, at least it did at my school. He got the 1 point away, like the absolute line away from getting expelled just for having a knife in school. I can't even imagine how much trouble they would get in fucking like a Japanese classroom where they actually like regularly do bag inspections and stuff like that. I'll brag to Arihiko about it, though that depends on if he actually comes to school or not. Yeah, we need to get Shiki some hair grease. Get him a leather jacket.
まずい、そろそろ行かないと間に合わないか。それじゃあ琥珀さん、届け物ありがとう。
Kohaku waves as we leave. I notice a commotion nearby after we exit the main gate.
なんだろう。なんかあっちの方騒がしくないか。
それが今朝方あちらの路面で血痕が発見されたそうです。
血痕？血の跡ってことか。
はい。屋敷の塀にも血の跡がありました。四季様がお眠りの間、警察の方々が昨夜の様子を尋ねにいらしたようです。
それって人が死んでたとか？
いえ、発見されたのは血の跡だけだそうです。
Honestly, just finding blood is almost scarier than finding blood plus like a body, because like just seeing blood is like any number of things could have happened. The road on the east side of the estate. That's where I went to look last night. Blood. A crimson red that stains anything it touches. I don't remember seeing anything that vivid last night. The only things here were the black of night and the biting cold. The warmth of blood was nowhere to be found.
四季様。
いや、なんでもない。それじゃあ行ってくるよ。見送りありがとう。
行ってらっしゃいませ。どうか、みちみちお気をつけて。
Hisui bows deeply. All I'm doing is going to school. but I suppose this is Hisui's way of showing concern for my condition.
ありがとう。なるべく気をつける。翡翠も気をつけて。
I thank Hisui as I wave goodbye and leave the front gate behind. Sure hope it's not Chris's blood. Oh, okay, I thought this would be the day we, wait, no. I think it might still be today. It's just before homeroom. The classroom is as lively as always. The boys and girls are still locked in battle over Ms. Noel. Thankfully, I don't belong to either camp. I amble over to my desk in the middle of no man's land and...
Yo! 遅いぞ、殿!
Waiting at my window-side desk, the protagonist's desk, is someone who looks totally out of place in the morning. Not only that...
おはようございます、遠野くん。
he's with someone even more unexpected.
先輩、なんでうちの教室に？
あれ？そんなに珍しいことですか？遠野くんが教室にいるかなってちょっと寄ってみただけですけど。
珍しいことです。普通、上級生は下級生のクラスには来ませんよ。下級生のクラスとか、もろ異分子って感じで恥ずかしいじゃないですか。
そうですか？遠野くん、割と細かいところに気が利くんですね。でも私はへっちゃらですよ。みんな同じ学校の人たちですから。
What a saint. I'm at a loss for words.
いや、それでも3年と2年じゃ距離が離れすぎです。ホームルーム、遅刻しても知りませんよ。
CL nods seriously.
その点でも大丈夫です。私、こう見えても走るのは早いんです。下の階の自分のクラスまで1分もかかりません。
That is a powerful expression. She puffs out her chest with pride. I feel like Nasu used that exact same phrase to, like, anytime a character is just looking smug. Just they puff out their chest with pride. Tough in both body and soul.
お前も口やかましいな、殿。いいじゃんか、先輩が好きで来てるんだからさ。
Arihiko, being Arihiko, is just sitting on my desk without a care in the world, fully immersed in his chat with CL. It's so funny thinking about the quote-unquote protagonist seat. I don't remember if this is like a conspiracy theory or something that was like legitimately proven, where it's just, putting a character back there lets artists or like people who like draw the story or whatever, if it's like a manga or whatever, it means they have to draw fewer desks because they can basically focus on one desk, and the angle is like you can focus on that plus like the very back of the classroom and like the window on the wall. So it's like you're really only having to draw one desk. I think I remember that being like, I don't remember if that was like true or not, but I definitely heard it posited.
いいけど。じゃあ、ホームルームが始まる2分前になったら自分のクラスに帰らないとダメだよ、先輩。
When will we get the mangakas brave enough to put their protagonist in the center desk? Suddenly feeling a wave of fatigue, I voice my discontent and sit down.
乾くん、遠野くんはご機嫌斜めみたいですね。
Oh, true, and angles from outside, that makes sense.
ああ、引っ越し先の生活が性に合わなくて感触を起こしてると見ました。遠野は大抵のことは気にしないですけどね。なんかよくわからないことがあると暴れ出す悪癖があるんすよ。
そうなんですか？遠野くん、あんまり怒りそうにないですけど。
Yes, Shiki Tono, the most level-headed Type Moon protagonist.
いや、そんなことないんだな、これが。遠野はおとなしそうに見えるだけで爆発するときは爆発するんすよ。割と頻繁にパチッと。
はあ、パチッですか？
そうそう。一度切れると見境がなくなるから、先輩もこいつを信用しちゃダメだぜ。
Arihiko and CL continue whispering in front of me.
あのさ、内緒話なら廊下でしてくれないか。人の机でそういうことされても丸聞こえで頭痛いんだけど。
なんと聞こえていたというのか、遠野。
I love this dumbass. Yeah, I can. I didn't just hear you. I could also see when you tried to slip a hand or... Dog. Bro's putting in the work, but it's... Man, wish he'd put it towards better things. I didn't just hear you. I could also see when you tried to slip a hand around CL's waist under the guise of having your little discussion, and how she immediately slapped it away. If anything, I'm less angry and more disappointed at the shame of a performance. CL is covering her mouth with her hands, unsure of how serious we are. She may have actually intended to trade secrets.
これだから文系のメガネ君は俺と先輩のラ・マンな話を盗み聞くとか哀れにも程がありますな。そんなに日々欲求不満なんですか？新しい妹様はそんなに美人なんですか？今度紹介してくれますか？
Listen, the less we can have Shiki talk about how hot he finds his sister, I think the better we'll be as a society.
アリヒコ、要するに俺に喧嘩を売ってるんだな。
そんなわけないだろう。俺と遠野は輝かしい友人じゃないか。気に食わなけりゃ親とだって殴り合うが、親友とだけは戦わないってのがポリシーなわけ。基本今日に生きる男なんだ俺。
Wow. A code that puts classmates over your own parents? That's messed up.
なるほど。腐ってるな、お前のポリシーは。
なんだ元気のないふりしやがって。根はいつもの遠野じゃんか。たく心配して損したぜ。
My bud pats me hard on the back.
お前、もしかして気を使ってたのか？
バッカ、そんなつまんないこと聞くなっての。こういうのはさりげなくやるのが美徳じゃないのさ。
At different strokes, I'm lucky enough to have pretty good parents. Thankfully, God. Nothing worse than going over to someone else's house. And like, there are some things where it's like sometimes just going over to someone's house lets you immediately understand like, oh. No, yeah, the banter's really great. Nasu really knows how to like kill slice of life writing. Oh yeah, Norman the goat. Norman the normal. He thwaps my back some more. I've known Arihiko for a long time, but there's still a lot about him that surprises me.
それで新しい家はどうなんだ？見たところヘビーにストレス溜まってそうじゃんか。
CL shifting in the background.
さあ、どうだろう。とりあえず昨日は妙な夢を見て、家の人たちに白い目で見られたけど。
そうか。それは災難だな。
Arihiko nods in sympathy. I turn to the source of the silence. CL is watching our stupid conversation unfold with a serious look on her face.
先輩？
遠野くん、やっぱり乾くんと仲がいいんですね。
本気ですか先輩？今のを見てそう思えるなんて。そのメガネは度が合ってないですね。
God, every time I think about specifically Akiha and Tsukihime, let me see if I can find it. One of my favorite images of all time. Let me get it pulled up. Funniest shit I've ever seen in my life. Still just like the quintessential Tsukihime experience. The hope being on display in the first tweet there. The fucking Ansem getting destroyed by light is just such a powerful, like, that tells you everything you need to know. Ugh.
そんなことないです。遠野くん、乾くんの前だと気を抜いてるじゃないですか。無防備で乾くんを信頼しきってます。
For some reason, a bright smile stretches across her face. Arihiko and I look at each other and tilt our heads.
羨ましいな。そうやって何の気負いもなしで分かり合える友人がいるのって憧れます。
I think Arihiko is probably the best of the bro characters, because it's like Stay Night, it's Issei, who's fine. And then in Witch on the Holy Night, there's Tobimaru, and he's good. I like him. But Arihiko is definitely the funniest. And that's what you need in your loudmouth dipshit sidekick. He's like... He's Yosuke if he was good. CL lets out a sigh of genuine admiration.
そうか。
Arihiko and I grimace in unison.
と、そろそろ時間ですね。私は戻りますけど、遠野くん、今朝のニュース見ましたか？
と忙しくて忘れてた。まだ見てません。
そうですか。それじゃあ率直に聞きますけど、今朝のニュースで大きなお屋敷が映っていました。あれって遠野くんのお家ですか？
え、
At least we did mention that the police came around to ask some questions.
ああ、それはきっとうちのことかもですね。今朝警察が話を聞きに来たって言ってたし。
そうですか。遠野くん、あんまり夜遊びしちゃダメですよ。
CL dashes out of the room. We watch her leave in silence.
さて、なあトム。
なんだよ。つまんないことなら聞かないからな。
つまらなくはないぞ。大きな疑問として、お前はいつの間に先輩の方から会いに来るほど親しくなってたんだ？
I was about to say it. So far, the only thing we've done is, like the talk on the train at the very start of the game. We haven't really done any other CL events.
俺に聞かれても返答に困る。話をするようになったのはここ最近だし、今日だって単なる気まぐれなんじゃないか。そういうお前だって親しそうだったじゃないか。
そうでもない。俺は7日もかけてやっと名前を覚えてもらったレベルだよ。
Listen, dude, some people are just bad with names.
ほう、そりゃ珍しい。一日でなびかない女はめんどくさいから相手にしないってのもお前のポリシーじゃなかったっけ？
波の女はな。だが先輩は別。秘密にしていたんだが、実のところ俺の好みはだな。
メガネの似合う上級生だって言うんだろ。
Arihiko, for all his faults, he does have good taste.
わかりましたか、親友。
わかるよ。眉唾だけど、先輩が言うには俺たち親友らしいし、お前が本気かどうかぐらい読み取れる。先輩は本気で可愛いしな。あの人と話して好意を持たない方がおかしい。
Yo?
俺だってそうだ。
そうかそうか。遠野も先輩の良さがわかるのか。って、なんですと？
親友なら気が合うものだし、何より趣味も似通うもんだろ。
Yo, he's just laying it out there.
もろかぶりになっても不思議じゃない。
Props to him for being, so blunt. Our eyes meet. After a brief but meaningful moment, Arihiko nods solemnly.
短い友情だったな。
Friendship over.
ああ、まったくだ。
I send him off with a wave. Just then, the bell for homeroom rings. Morning classes end and lunch break begins. Where should I grab lunch? Classroom or cafeteria? Well, the last few times we've done classroom stuff, that's given us more Yumizuka content. If we get more Yumizuka content, we will stay in the classroom. If not, we're going to the cafeteria. I guess I'll eat in the classroom, but I don't have much of an appetite today. Whenever I feel like this, I always throw up if I eat anything. The best course of action would just be to rest in the classroom, but... Seeing that mopey face has obliterated any appetite I did have. Okay, I'm definitely skipping lunch. Thanks for that, Arihiko.
悪い、今日はパス。一人で済ませてきてくれ。
なんだ？お前ますます不健康になってくな。何？やっぱお貴族様な新生活は合いませんかね？
あのな、お貴族様なんかじゃ。ああ、いや、そうかも。あれで貴族じゃないって言ったら。
He's like, hey man, it's not really that. Okay, no, you got a point though.
トイレとかすごいんだぞ、アリヒコ。お前の部屋より広い、そして高い。
マジで？そんな落ち着かない生活したくねえな。
Actually, I take it back. Arihiko's reaction is a breath of fresh air. It's nice to talk to someone who can relate.
まあ、建物の話は仕方ないとしてもだ。朝は7時に起きても遅いと文句は言われるし、門限は8時だし、おまけに無断外泊すると厳しく詰問されるなんて監獄生活みたいだろ。
の？それはそれでいい話じゃねえか。管理体制万々歳。若者はもっとタイトに生きねえとな。若いうちから楽しちゃろくな大人になれないぞ。
Bro, you're the last dude I want to be hearing this shit from.
どうか。しかしお前に言われると説得力があるな。
Oh no. No, I just had one of those moments where the visual novel protagonist says exactly what you said. He's living proof of that argument.
そうか？なんだ、今日の討論はやけに素直じゃないか。よしよし、じゃあ菓子パンを一つくれてやりますか。
だから食べ物はいいって。俺のことは気にせず食べろよ。昼休み終わっちゃうぞ。
あ、そう？じゃあ遠慮なくいただきます。
Arihiko claps his hands together and starts to eat his pastry. Credit where credit is due. Arihiko does know his manners.
お邪魔します。
I hear a familiar voice. CL comes over carrying what appears to be a lunchbox.
お？先輩って学食じゃなかったっけか？
いえ、別に食事は決まってないですよ。その日の気分で何でもありです。
CL produces a lunchbox from a cute little pouch. The box looks pretty big for her given her frame.
気分ってことは、今日は早起きできたんで、お弁当を作ってきたってことですか？
そうなんです。今朝は珍しく7時前に目が覚めて。って何を言わせるんですか、遠野くんは。
いえ、そんなつもりはなかったんですけど。先輩、もしかして朝は弱い方？
I feel like most people aren't morning people.
はい、実は私早起きは苦手なんです。ボランティアの時はもうかなり無茶をしちゃってます。私の実家はパン屋さんでしたから、すっごく朝が早かったんです。けど私はどうしても朝に弱くて、もう子供の頃からお父さんに怒られてばかりでした。
Dude, shout out to French bakeries making their bread like fresh in-house every day. But God, I do not envy them for having to wake up like at the ass crack of the morning just to be able to make a living. A bakery. Arihiko and I glance at each other. I'm sure we're both picturing Ciel kneading dough with her Arihiko and I glance at each other. I'm sure we're both picturing Ciel kneading dough with her delicate fingers before baking it in the wood-fired oven that she somehow has in her apartment.
お父さんとの戦いは3年ほど続きましたが、最後にはお前をしつけるのなら2人分働いた方がマシだ
チを投げられちゃいました。それ以来私は起きる時間に関してはわがままし放題だったのです。
CL puffs out her chest, beaming with pride. There's that phrase again. Nasu loves that phrase.
そうだったんですか。なんか意外ですね。先輩、ものすごくしっかりしてそうなのに。
はい、遠野くんの前では失敗しないように頑張ってますから。本当はですね、どっちかっていうと容量が悪い方なんです、私。
Dog, everyone's laying it on so thick. That might actually be true. Like her volunteer work, for one thing. Someone who had everything figured out probably wouldn't spend their time working for zero profit.
そっか。でも俺、容量が悪い人の方が好きだよ。一緒にいると安心できる。
Arihiko nods in agreement.
それで朝が弱い先輩は大抵学食だったわけなのか。
ええ、そういうわけなので学食ばかりですけど、たまにはこうやってお弁当ぐらい作ります。出来合いものの寄せ集めですけど。お二人は学食派ですよね。
いや、俺たちもその日の気分だな。1年の頃は俺も姉貴に飯作ってもらってたんだけどよ、遠野のやつが学食だったりパン食だったりするから合わせてるうちにこうなっちまったんだ。は
あ、遠野くんは気分屋さんなんですね。
そうそう、こういう男と付き合うと疲れるだけだから、先輩も気をつけな。
CL nods in agreement as she takes the lid off her lunchbox. Half of the round container is filled with rice, the other half with side dishes. It's a fairly standard lunch if somewhat large.
では、いただきます。隣の人の椅子借りていいでしょうか。
いないやつの椅子はみんなの椅子だよ。高田くんも先輩に座ってもらえて本望だろう。
God, you know, those people are the real freaks where it's like, oh, this person sat on this chair. Like, that's a level of, obsession that's even on, dog, come on, man. I half expect CL to put her lunchbox on my desk, but she sets it on her lap and begins eating. Arihiko stands across from her, tearing open his second pastry. Their voices fade into background chatter as I blankly stare out of the window.
おや、遠野くん、お昼は食べないんですか？
はい、今日は気分じゃないので。
食べないって、それじゃあお腹空いちゃいますよ。
いいんです。今は食欲より体調ですから。それに昼を抜いたぐらいでどうにかなるほどやわじゃありませんし。
うわ、すごいなあ。私一食でも抜いたら動けません。お腹がペコペコになって倒れちゃいます。恥ずかしいですよね。普通の子よりたくさん食事はとってる方なのに、すぐお腹が空いちゃうんですから。
そんなことは
Another
ない
one
っす。
for the collection of good
先輩
faces.
は他の女どもに比べて発育いいんすから。ガオ気分。燃費が悪いのは自然の説ですよ。
I'm not sure that was the smoothest way to do it, but Arihiko's words tie a bow on that conversation. We're all growing teenagers here. She can eat as much or as little as she wants. CL's expression is indecipherable. I can't tell if she's flattered or embarrassed.
でも遠野くん、本当にお昼ご飯を抜いて平気なんですか？
平気平気。丸1日ぐらい食事を断つのも珍しいことじゃないんだ。今日は朝食も食べたし、夜まで問題なしです。
Power to people who can do that. The only time I'm ever, able to actually miss, a full-ass meal is if I'm, like this weekend. I missed dinner one night because I was just literally playing 14 for so long. Ugh. New expansion means you can't log out without a fucking, 2k queue getting back in. So it's well, if I'm logging in at 4 p.m., I'm not logging out till midnight, and I will not have any time to stop.
それはどうかと思います。そんな生活したちゃ体が壊しちゃいますよ。
大丈夫。ちゃんと体を見てくれる人もいますから。医者に体重を増やさないように注意もされてるし、たまに食事を抜いた方が俺はちょうどいいんです。体力は欲しいけど、やっぱりウェイトは絞らなくちゃね。
ですか。男の子でもダイエットって考えるんですね。
CL looks up at me for a moment, contemplating something, then closes the lid on her lunchbox.
用事を思い出したので失礼します。私のことは気にせず、むしろ今日の出来事は忘れていただけると助かります。
She quickly packs up her things and takes off. He's spittin'. An awestruck Arihiko nods to himself contentedly. Fifth period begins. I fight off the temptation of sleep as I scribble down notes during our classic literature class. Our school still doesn't allow note-taking on devices. They've said they'll switch to using tablets eventually, but it seems like it's going to take another couple of years. Either way, people rarely get into trouble for using their phones in class. It's one of those unspoken agreements. There are plenty of students who use their phones to check their texts, look up information, or just browse the internet. I've always preferred doing things the old-fashioned way, so I write everything by hand. It comes on without warning. A heightened, accelerated sense of awareness. My vision begins to bend, holding and twisting around a single point. My sense of equilibrium shifts, as if my brain were spinning on its axis. Everything morphs into a blurred mess. It feels like something is lurking at the back of my head, trying to drive me out of my own skull. I know this feeling. This is the dizzy spell right before my anemia hits. I should have seen this coming. I always knew this was a possibility. Damn it. This hardly ever happens, but I'm going to pass out in class. Darkness shrouds my vision. I fumble for my desk, grabbing the side of it to steady myself. But it doesn't help. I can't put any strength into my fingers. All I can do is brace for the fall. Just when I expect to lose control, I feel a hearty slap on my back. Before I know it, Arihiko is standing at my side. I hear the teacher speaking to me from the front of the room. Arihiko's booming voice overshadows my attempt at a reply. I can't tell if he's just nice to a fault. He seems to have believed Arihiko wholeheartedly. Aw, he does care. Arihiko scowls and slaps me across the back. The teacher nods approvingly. Arihiko returns to his seat. Somehow, I get up from my seat, carry myself out of the room. Once we get to the next scene here, yeah. We're probably going to go ahead and call it here. I am still probably going to try and play this again tomorrow, because I do have that on the schedule as well. So, with that being said, thank you all for coming out today. Hope everyone had a good day. Thanks again, Frost, earlier for the raid. And then we will send you guys on over to someone. Who is live right now? Let's get you guys... let's see. We're going to send you over to BioRoxas. He is currently playing some FF14 Dawn Trail. He is at level 6 in the main story, so if you play that game and don't want to get spoiled, well, thank you, Broke Estelbot. Hit follow if you want to be notified of future streams. Gonna be back again tomorrow, probably like late afternoon, like maybe 4 or 5 p.m. For more Tsukihime. And then this Sunday, I got Yu-Gi-Oh! With Frost and Blueman. We're gonna be playing some Broke Boys. We're gonna be doing some budget deck building, so that'll be fun. But yeah, with that being said, we'll get that raid set up. And yeah, you all have a good rest of your day. And